Welcome back, everybody. We got another great episode of Yarn is a Second Language with it for you. Hello, Miss Nikki. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Rue?
Tired.
Okay.
She's tired.
Good. So this is going to be another one of our where we just sit and chat and work, and you guys should do the same. Not really chat to us because we can't hear you, but chat in that comment box. I mean, you can, but I mean, it'd be a little better for us if you did it in the comment section so we can see what you're chatting about or read what you're chatting about. No? Yes?
Sometimes people, when they chat to me, I just go,
Usually when people chat to you, you just go, And what are you thinking in your brain when you say, You don't want to share, do you?
It depends.
It depends.
Sometimes when you're talking to me, I'm like, why didn't you listen to me before?
Usually when I'm talking to you, you're getting enlightened. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
On the depths of all the things that I need to teach you as the little brother I never wanted. I'm like, man, I'm behind. I am behind. I need to help this dude.
Apparently, I need to teach you the difference between always and never because you seem to get those two words confused.
Okay, let's move on.
Always wanted. So, I got a couple of things I want to show you before I start working, but you can go ahead and start working. In fact, everybody watching this, you guys can start working. So I've got babies being born. Not my babies. Other people in my life, they're having babies, Nikki.
Yes.
So I've decided to make a couple of things for them.
Yeah.
And the first thing I want to show you, if you've seen previous podcasts, you've seen this before, but hey, you know, we do what we want. I want to show you again. So I'm having a friend. My wife is actually at the baby shower right now. I made this little hat, which you guys have seen before. But when you saw it, the top wasn't done. Well, the top is done.
Yeah.
And all the ends are weaved in.
Yeah.
So, and I also made this blanket for them. I might have to step back so you can see it all. Oh, there it is.
Oh, beautiful.
It is a simple granny stitch or granny square. And it turned out great, I think.
It did turn out great. That's gorgeous. Do you remember which yarn you used?
Yes, I do. Let me think. Puzzle. Premier. Puzzle by Premier. I don't remember the color, but obviously it's some sort of blue.
Yeah.
And
if I'm correct, that was one skein, right?
Yes. So this is one skein of yarn. Let me see. I'll get all for you. Voila. There you go.
Great.
So it worked out great.
Ends woven in and everything. Look at you.
It is 100% done. And when I was weaving in my ends, I was like, I hate doing this. Took me 10 minutes, but hated every second of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to give them to that later. Also, if you watched our video where I was shopping for baby blanket yarn, I have created the blanket. So as you guys know, look at this. Got the label. So I bought some Burnett baby blanket yarn.
Oh.
It is 100% polyester, and the color is called Pretty Girl.
Oh my goodness. That's very forward in a yarn.
So I had asked everybody, what stitch should I do? And somebody said, I can't remember the name of stitch now that we're doing this, but someone made a really good suggestion, and I started doing that, but the yarn was too busy for that stitch. So I took it apart I ended up doing a different stitch. However, I am going to use that stitch in the future. Anyways, here's the blanket. And again, this is big, so I'm going to have to scoot back.
Look at that. Look at that pooling.
Yep, it pooled, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, nice.
So I made this.
Before you put it away, I want a close up.
Okay.
So I can see the yarn. That looks like a chenille. That's pretty.
So it is, I used the moss stitch.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up using 2 balls of this yarn. So it's 300 a thing, so 600 grams.
Mm-hmm.
I should grab my scale and weigh this.
Mm-hmm.
I may do that here in a second. It is 42 inches by 50 inches.
That's a big blanket.
I think that's what I did. Yes. They're having a girl. This baby shower is next week, so and I will be going to that one. I don't really do baby showers. You go to baby showers? It's just not my thing. I don't know.
All my friends are mostly past the baby having age, but I mean, it's okay. There's cake.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll be going to this one. So here, one more time, I'll show you. There it is.
That's lovely.
So this was enjoyable to do.
About how long did that take you?
I'm glad you asked me. It took me 3 episodes of Grey's Anatomy. It gave me a chance to catch up on Grey's. I'm a faithful viewer, Nikki. I've been watching it since day 1.
Oh my goodness.
I am tired.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
I mean, is it still on? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still on.
Wow.
And it's still a hit. I mean, people are watching it.
I mean, these people are probably literally gray studying anatomy. Been on forever.
We've seen them progress from children to full-blown doctors now.
Seasoned.
So it took me, I'd say, a little more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
But it was roughly 3 episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
I gotta say, it kind of renewed me. I'm back into the I don't mind crocheting game right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think that's good, and I think that's what people need to reprocess to, give your limbs a break also, and to give your creativity a break to really think about what you want to make.
Right. Yeah.
I know. I was in the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying having a sense of purpose of doing something other than just doing it. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I have a purpose, so.
And I was going to say, sometimes we look at our stashes and we look at things that people have given us and say, oh, I got to use that up. What am I going to do with that? And, it's nice to have a concrete goal to work toward. Right. Like, I want this thing. That's cool. Good for you.
Yeah. So are you working on anything today?
I have not been knitting, but I've been playing with my sewing machine.
Oh, hold on. Okay. So you're going to have to hold down the fort for a minute. My son is woken from his nap, and he's not very happy right now.
Is that slamming?
Yes. So just give me a few minutes. You do your thing. I'll be right back.
Run. So I have been working on a few things with my sewing machine. If you can see back here, I have a Brother Project Runway in Novus. I think that's 40, not real sure. But I was very afraid when I first got my sewing machine. I could sew a little bit, but I wasn't very proficient at it. So I did a few projects. Of course, I've done some bags and things like that, but I never played with the decorative stitches on there. So in the spirit of being adventurous and trying to work down some of these projects I have in my head that I need to translate to actual reality, I went through and I got my manual out and I was working with the stitches on the machine, you know, changing out feet, changing out thread types, changing out needles to make sure. So this is one of the swatches that I've been working on, changing out things on my sewing machine, some of the decorative stitches, some of the embroidery stitches, you know, and I thought that was really cute. Oh no, someone's not happy.
He's not feeling good today.
Oh no.
You're okay.
Oh.
You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi. That was the most pained hi ever. Oh.
All right.
So I've just been going on that I've been just kind of playing with my sewing machine, showing, you know, doing some of the edge stitches, some of the decorative stitches, some of the overlock stitches, some of the pseudo embroidery stitches, and just trying to get to know my machine. And it's been really fun. It can do a lot more than I've been doing.
So what's your next big project on the sewing machine?
I've got a couple of quilts that I'm trying to piece the tops to so I can get started on actual quilting. This is actually a piece right here. My mother gave me some of this, my boyfriend gave me some of this, and I bought some for myself. So I was like, oh, everybody knows this is kind of my thing. So it's kind of rainbow stripes. And what it is these strips like here. It's loosely called a jelly roll. I think that's a company's real name, but they come in strips. And this is my favorite, this kind of chartreuse. But what I've been doing is piecing them together so I can cut them apart. Kind of like, I don't know if you remember, I made that Christmassy kind of piece quilt top a long time ago, maybe last year, year before. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing here, and I want it to cascade like a rainbow. So the first step is to piece my little strips together, and then I'll cut them apart and piece them back together. So that's kind of what I've been working on, just kind of simple things that I can stop and start and not have too much of a barrier to pick it back up again.
No.
So do you feel yourself progressing as a seamstress?
I am nobody's seamstress, but I'm getting a little bit more adventurous. I think so. I'm getting to the point where it's like, well, this is my creation. Whatever happens, happens.
That's fair. And you're kind of my seamstress. Do you remember that time at work I showed up and I had a hole in my shirt?
Yes, I do.
It was right there in the armpits.
Not only did you not have a spare set of clothes at work, which I advised you to have, you had nothing to repair your clothes with. So you very definitely had on another shirt under it. So I said, here, give me that. And we stitched up your shirt. And it was pretty good. If I remember, I think I did a pretty good job.
I still have that shirt and it's held up.
That's been a lot of years.
Yes, it has.
So that's kind of what I've been working on. I have put my Christmas goals. I'm still plugging away on some of that stuff. My boyfriend for Christmas bought me a Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. This is her library card collection bag. And that is right up my alley. But I was working on, I've not gotten very far on it at all. But this is I think they call it, it's like plain brick or something. Washcloth. This is a mosaic pattern, a slip stitch pattern. And this was originally in the Mason-Dixon knitting. They have since changed their name, but I can't remember quite to what. But
why would they change the name, Nikki?
I don't know. Company decision, I guess. So this is the finished product. The ball band dishcloth. I think they said this pattern used to come on the ball bands of yarn. So that's what I'm working on. Still chipping away at those kind of Christmassy projects. So I've set myself back. I have already given away 2 of my Christmas stockpile dishcloths.
Well,
But that's a good thing.
I've got the reminder of my phone to ask you.
Oh, I'm working. I'm working.
Okay. You got a lot of work ahead of you.
I do. But I'm refining my plans. I think I'm gonna end up with a lot more sewing projects than knitted projects. Because last year I kind of did a lot of knitting. Last year and the year before, we kind of did a lot of hat knitting and cowls and scarves and things like that. So my sewing stash my project list didn't get whittled down as much as I'd like. So I think this year it's gonna be way more about sewing. And I still have not finished my Stephen West shawl. I think this was the Boneyard shawl, but I did put a few stitches on it, and I think that's what I'm going to work on today. If you don't remember, it was out of this Universal Adore Colors yarn. I think this is discontinued now. But that was 55% superwash merino and 45% acrylic. And I haven't done a whole lot on it, but it is growing. Getting there.
Very nice.
It's getting
Hey,
there.
do you know who would love that purple color?
Who?
This setup from Setta's Place.
Oh, yeah, she would. She makes a lot of her own shawls.
She does.
So that's primarily what I've been working on. Did you see my cup again? It's the second cup of tea from Milkshake. And today's tea is honey lavender.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
It is. It's filling up the room with fragrance. In my office, sometimes I'll start my tea and people will walk in and they'll just say, oh, so nice in here. It's the tea.
Yeah, it's the tea. It definitely ain't you. It's definitely the tea.
I'm not going to add on to that, but okay.
So I had planned on starting a scarf using that same Burnett yarn as that blanket I made.
Yeah.
But it's blue. Let's see if I can grab it. Hold on, bud.
Oh.
No.
I remember that yarn.
I hear you. So yeah, this is old, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I
That
bought
was started
several.
you bought that for another friend's baby like 2 years ago, I think.
That blanket's still downstairs. So I had made a blanket with this out of it was a waffle stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I broke it out this morning because I was going to show everybody, but I was like, it's like 70% done.
So what are you going to do with it?
I think I'm going to take it apart.
Yeah.
It's like I said before, it's too busy for the waffle stitch.
I can
So it's taken away from the stitch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I may take it apart and add to whatever I'm going to make with this. Probably a scarf since we've only got one. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my next project. Oh, I will say when I worked on this pink and purple one, I pulled from the inside like many of our viewers do.
Yes.
Typically, I pull from the outside. And everything was good. Everything was great until it wasn't.
Uh-oh.
Yarn barf galore. Yeah. It wasn't as bad since the yarn is really thick. I was able to work through it.
Yeah.
I'd rather not even have to deal with it. So I'll be working from the outside.
I think it's company dependent, how they wind the yarns at the factory You know, I don't know necessarily how you handled it. I think it's how they wound it. And you can never
Right.
tell if this is supposed to be outside, inside, you know. I do tend to rewind. If it looks like it's going to be problematic, I'll tend to rewind it into a center pull ball that I've done. And that way I can check for knots and things like that. But it is a crapshoot. Can't always
So when you do that, do you do it by hand or do you have a ball winder?
either way. Depends on where I
Okay.
am. Depends on kind of what the yarn looks like too.
I
If
guess with
it's
something this thick, you'd probably want to use a ball winder, wouldn't you?
that would go fast by hand too.
Okay.
And it
This is
depends on where
definitely
I am. If it's gonna roll all over the floor, you know I've swiffered my floors, or I'll put a towel down, or you know, I'll have a bag or something.
Yeah.
Grocery bags are good for that. Put it down in there, so it,
What a great idea.
yeah.
Huh.
Yep. So
Might have to try that.
yeah, sometimes that'll save you.
I
But
was really hoping to start on that with you all, but I don't think it's going to happen today. I'm
I think
stuck.
somebody's content right where they are. Forget what you want.
Yes. So I will say, later today, this has nothing to do with yarn, but it just popped in my head. I am taking the missus out on a date.
Yeah.
Calm down, bud. Uh-oh. And we are going to do something we've never done before.
I know what this is.
Yeah, we're going axe throwing. I'm so excited about it.
That seems pretty fun.
So he's going to go to his Yaya's house and we're going to go throw some axe. Not at each other, at
Well,
a wooden
I mean,
board.
depends on what kind of mood she's in, maybe.
I'm quick though. I'll dodge him.
Dodge and weave.
Boy, that'd be if we decide to do that, I'll put that on the video. So
I'd have to change our ratings.
yeah, don't try this at home. So that's what we're doing later today. I'm
Would
looking
be
forward to it.
cool. Now, is this a like a semi outdoors or indoors kind of thing? Because
It
it's
is
cold
indoors.
outside today.
Thankfully, it's indoors because you know this, but it snowed today.
Yeah.
In the South, East Tennessee.
This is April, the early
9th?
part of April, April 9th, and we've had
Yeah.
snow flurries. I went out to the grocery earlier, and when I went in, it was fine. You know, I had my jacket on and everything. I came out, it's like freezing rain, and I was so upset.
Yeah.
But I did come home. I did make some chicken noodle soup, and I did make some oat bread to go with my soups. So I've had just a kind of cozy day inside.
Yeah, I mean, today's a beautiful day to sit inside and just chill.
It's just
This
is what do the old people call it? Dogwood winter.
Yeah,
The
that's
dogwoods
true.
are out. They are out.
I gotta make some instant oatmeal.
Okay.
I'll be right back again. It'll be quick.
It is instant. So we've got dogwood winter going on now, and they say that the old timers used to say that you get all these different winter periods before you get actual true spring. And I think next is what, blackberry winter? Because the blackberries are coming out, and then I can't remember. There's like 5 or 6. I think it's like magnolia winter and all these things. But I always thought that was interesting. Growing up here at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, you hear kind of these folksy things. I always thought they were kind of neat to listen to. But we did get a very cold snap today. And I'm just ready for spring. Even though my allergies are going crazy, I'm just ready for spring. I don't know, but I do know that other people have had terrible. We've had a very windy spring, not a whole lot of rain, but we'll get there, I guess. I know I'll be complaining when it gets super hot, like, I'm just ready for cold weather so I can bring out my hand knitting and everything. But I guess I need to learn to appreciate where we are in the seasons and just go with that. I do find myself working on lighter weight projects for spring and summer than like full-blown merino wool hats and things for winter wear. But I'm always behind. I don't know how I always get behind if I'm always trying to work on these things right before the seasons change. So that was a big no. Let's see. Do I have anything else I was supposed to talk about? No, I don't think I have anything else. I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been doing too much knitting. I do want to work on some more zipper pouches like I had before. You've seen me. That one, I forgot the lining, but this one, I do have it lined, and I did take it on a trip recently, and these are the handiest things ever. If you want to put in a teeny tiny knitting or a crochet project or just toiletries or things like that, these have come in so handy, and I think I'm going to make like 20 more for Christmas gifts or just to have myself, because it comes in so handy when you're packing. Just like these little zipper pouches that I made. I went to Nashville a few weeks ago, and it was so handy. I was like, I need 10 more of these just to separate things out. But we shall see. I'm not real sure that I'm going to make as many as I would like, but it's still a goal. How did the oatmeal go? We heard a big no.
We got the oatmeal made.
Okay.
Add a little brown sugar, a couple of raisins in there.
Yes.
And it's a little hot, but he's going in. So
okay.
I'm able to start my little project from stitch one. We're working on it. So the plan was he was supposed to sleep for about another hour.
Well, we know about plans.
Yeah. So yeah, he's throwing a whole big monkey wrench into all this. But you know what? On our first one we said we're just going to do this and do it real and raw for you. Well, here you go, everybody.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. So, oh, I forgot to mention this axe throwing place is at a pizzeria. So I will be partaking in some delicious homemade pizza later.
It will not be homemade, but good try.
Wood fired. How about that?
Okay, good enough.
That's what I meant to say. So somebody had a question for you that you haven't answered yet, and I kind of know what I want to know the answer to. Yeah.
Mm.
Have you ever popped your own popcorn?
Yeah. I pop popcorn over an open flame. I mean, do you mean like in a microwave? You could do it in a paper bag.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Just pour some kernels into like the little paper bag you used to get for taking old-timey lunches to school or something. Mm-hmm. And some people pour in a little bit of oil or spritz it or whatever. You don't have to. Put it in the microwave for a little while.
Okay. That'll work too. It started snowing again.
Oh no.
Actually, I think it's sleet because I can hear it hitting the window.
That pellety When I left the grocery store, I was getting pelted in the neck with like freezing rain.
That was people throwing stuff at you, probably.
Yeah, doubtful. Kind of.
Now, you know, I will say something about this yarn. So it's really hard to see where your chains are at. Actually, it shows up really good on camera.
Oh.
That's the only kind of complaint I have with this.
Yeah. What size hook are you using?
So I'm glad you asked. The label says to use a size 8, I believe. It does, 8
Wouldn't
millimeter
that be
size
very
hook.
small for that yarn?
I don't think so. So it says to use an 8. I'm using a 7, and this is the hook.
Yeah.
Here's the yarn. So you see, it's got plenty of.
Okay.
And I wish I had a 7.5 or an 8. I can't find either one.
Yeah.
So I am using a 7, but 7's
Like you
working.
can't find them in your stash, or they don't make them.
I can't find it in my stash. I have one somewhere.
Yeah.
But the little oatmeal muncher back there has gotten a hold of them, and they're somewhere in the house. So if I had it, I would use it.
Hmm.
So you're working on that. I'm working on, this will probably end up being a scarf. I want people to tell us what they're working on right now.
We haven't had a check in with people to see what they're making. Send in your pictures of your finished objects in a long time.
We have not. We have not. So if you would like to, send us a picture of your work. And in the past, what we've done is we've collected a bunch of pictures and we would show it on our channel. We'll have to get a little bit more creative on that now because YouTube doesn't like some music being played sometimes. We have to get some copyright-free music. And our budget here at Yarn a Second Language is it is small, muy poquito. So everybody keeps telling me to get Epidemic Sound, and that is a great resource. I mean, I've checked into it. They got phenomenal songs, but we're not really willing to pay the monthly fee right now. We're doing fine without it. So welcome back, partner. So we'll have to get a little bit more creative on how to present that.
Yeah.
But we will do that though.
But I thought that was always fun. That was interesting to see how amazing people are.
Let me tell you, the crocheters, you guys are doing much better work than I'm doing. That's for sure. So I'm getting inspiration from you all.
So I have a real question for you.
Go for it.
On a scale of 1 being not at all and 10 being just to the max, how fatigued are you with this pandemic?
10 being what now?
Just off the wall, just I can't take it anymore.
I'm at a 6.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. So I didn't really have much time off of work. I think I got a week and a half off and I went right back to work. So I've been working. A lot of things we like to do, of course, didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm more discouraged with the fact that I still don't, we're still not comfortable traveling to where we like to travel.
Right.
You want JoJo?
JoJo.
Okay. So that's really put a damper on me because typically my wife and I, we go to the Dominican Republic every year for vacation. We haven't gone in 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss it. I miss it greatly.
Yep.
So it's really, for me, it hasn't been that bad because I still had a routine. He was still able to go to school. I went to work. My wife was able to do her thing, but all the extracurricular stuff that we enjoyed doing has been hampered a little bit.
Right.
So, what about you?
Well, I asked that because, you know, numbers are down and that's great. And things are starting to possibly get back to a comfortable level, a manageable level. But I've noticed that in some of the projects I'd like to have completed around my house and in my crafting and just visiting family and things like that, I feel exhausted. Like I really am 2 years behind. Like stuff I was thinking about doing 2 years ago got put on pause, and all that, I mean, it's not that all that stuff goes away. You still want to see people, you still want to do things like take trips and just, you know, casually go into a store without thinking, oh, I've got to go see so and so who's a vulnerable individual right now and blah blah blah. Am I going to put them in danger by doing this 3 days ahead of time or things like that? All that stuff doesn't go away. So in my head, I've got a tremendous to-do list. And now that we're starting to think about trying to tackle some of those things and visit some of those places and do some of those things, it's a little bit overwhelming. And I don't know, I just wonder how people are handling it, how people have handled it. I know I've put off some house projects. I just had a service person out yesterday, and that seemed like a very big thing for me to have somebody in my home who was doing work and things like that. And I wasn't super stressed out about it. But I know there's going to be many more of those things in the future because, you know, we're getting back to normal, which is good. But I have noticed I've picked up my crafting a lot more now because I'm not, I don't know, I think I'm just not as worried about things. Or when I start to get worried, I think crafting has been my fallback. I don't know, there's just something I was thinking about because I have been organizing my thoughts in a bullet journal and organizing my projects, and it just seems like an overwhelming amount, and I don't want to get overwhelmed that way, but I want to get stuff done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
So
makes
to answer
sense.
your question, my question, I think I'm about at a 7 or a 6.5. It depends on the day.
You like
Look at that. Love it. Touch it.
You like that? Yeah, and one stressful thing for me about it is, you know, we've got a mutual friend going through health issues.
Yeah.
And she's been coming to work when she can, and her immune system is compromised.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times people at work, they're not sensitive to that. And well, that's as far as I want to go with that. But just having that
Right.
extra stretch of caring for a friend that's going through that right now, it's extra tough for them. What do you want, bud? You want volume? Okay. Hopefully this doesn't come across. Put it down low. Don't want to give YouTube another reason to strike us with the copyright.
We'll just have to talk over it.
Like, wait a minute. They're playing JoJo and Grain in the background. Yeah, they're skating.
So anyway, I didn't mean to bring the vibe down. That's just something I've been thinking about. I do have a lot of ideas. I do have a lot of projects that I want to complete, but it does seem like I'm a couple of years behind.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're not the only ones. I mean, I'm sure a lot of our viewers feel the same way. What's up? You want to go over?
One more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Now be quiet. Did you do any crafty item spring cleaning this year?
I did not. Funny you should ask. I'm glad you asked that too, because remember when I said I pulled out the waffle stitch blanket I made?
Yes.
At that moment, I realized I need to go through this whole closet, reorganize, give away stuff, not throw away anything. I know better than that now. But just go through everything and kind of just organize it. And because it's a mess. What?
So I think I did that maybe ahead of spring, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I went through and I frogged a bunch of projects and I put a lot of yarn in the donation bin and things like that. But I feel like I'm at a good place. I'm looking around. Nothing's terrible. I do have a lot of raw materials that, you know, I need to either use or they need to move on.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe I'll throw the camera up and try to organize my terrible yarn closet.
Do you
It's looking rough.
do you have a lot of projects that you haven't finished, or just a lot of stuff you want to organize?
Just a lot of stuff I want to organize. A lot of times, I kid you not, I'll buy something and literally throw it in the closet. And I'll get it when I get it. And that's where I'll stay at for a while. So just get everything organized.
I feel like that's a theory of cleaning organization or something like that, that some people don't have a stash. They're like, when I get something, I want to work on that thing. And I feel like there's something to that, because everybody gets excited when you bring something home because you thought about it. You're like, ooh, this will be perfect for this, and blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of times. And I think you need to stay on the edge of creativity if you can.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what he wants. So, well, what do you say about just ending this?
I think we've had a good run. I've got some rows on.
Well, I was able to get
You've chained some. I saw that.
that much done. But I'm glad I got to show you guys this here.
That's great.
Because I was really excited about it, and I was happy that I was able to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be giving that to her soon. Yay! So, well, everybody, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for working on your project with us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit that like button too. And I guess we'll see you guys at the next one. So, adios. Hey, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.